notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 7, 2022. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontoriero. Councilman Halloran. Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Menachino.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to take a minute to salute the flag and a moment of silence, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the January 25th meeting, please?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Authorize cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
This resolution authorizes the cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables and programs where funds cannot be spent within the contract period.
Resolution 4-2.
Authorize submission of application 2022 Ocean County Tourism Grant.
This resolution authorizes the submission of a 2022 Ocean County Tourism Grant in the amount of $9,825 for the Brick Farmers Market. Resolution 4-3.
Authorize receipt of bids printing services.
Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the printing of various township forms used by all departments, such as letterhead, envelopes, business cards. The current 2-year contract will expire on June 9th, 2022. To date, we have spent $25,000 with 5 awarded vendors. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-4.
Authorize receipt of bids landscape maintenance services at Solar Field.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for landscape maintenance services at the Township Solar Field, previously known as French's Landfill, located on Sallyike Road, which consists of approximately 15 acres of turf. The scope of work includes the spring and fall mowing, seed mixed with fertilizer, hay, topsoil, mulch, vegetation removal, and disposal of riprap areas. To date, the township has an approximate expenditure of $25,000 during the current 2-year contract period, which will expire on April 19th, 2022, with A. Guzzo Landscaping as the current vendor. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5, please.
Authorize receipt of bids operation of Brick Beach 1 food concession stand.
Councilman Albanese.
This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for operation of Brick Beach 1 food concession. The township receives $5,100 for a current 1-year contract with Castaway Kitchen, LLC, which expires at the end of 2021 summer season.
Thank you. Resolution 4-6, please.
Authorize receipt of bids fireworks exhibitions.
Mr. Mayor, please.
Yes, thank you. So just like the last resolution that Councilman Albanese just talked about, summer's almost here, right? So we're sitting here in 35-degree weather, but this resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for aerial fireworks at the Summerfest concert series, as well as our Fall Fest. Last year, the township scheduled a total of 5 fireworks exhibitions at the 4 Summerfest and the 1 Fall Fest, and the total cost of the township was $22,000, and the vendor last year was Schaefer Fireworks from Bronx, Pennsylvania. And this gives me the opportunity to announce our 4 Summerfest. The first one will be June 30th, and the band will be Super Trans Am. The next one will be July 7th with Stifler's Mom as the band. July 14th with the Benjamins, and July 21st will be Jesse's Girl. So that's our lineup for this year's 2022 Summerfest, and I can't wait for that weather to be here and have a good time. Thanks.
Thank you. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize award of bid purchase and delivery of signed materials.
Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution authorizes an award of bid for the purchase and delivery of sign materials to Garden State Highway Products Vineland and Signorama Freehold. Bid notices were mailed to 25 bidders, of which 8 vendors picked up packages. 3 bids were received, with Garden State and Signorama being the lowest responsible bidders. This award is for 2 years, commencing February 12, 2022, and ending February 11, 2024. This is an open-ended contract not to exceed $70,000 per year. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 48, please.
Authorize closeout change order number 1, isolated drainage and roadway improvements.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes a closeout change order decrease in the amount of $65,785.15 in the contract with Captain Construction for the isolated drainage and roadway improvements project. The closeout change order reflects increases and decreases in the original contract quantities as required to complete the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 49.
Authorize closeout change order number 1, resurfacing and drainage improvements to North Lake Shore Drive, Nassau Street, and Duquesne Boulevard intersections.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a closeout change order increase in the amount of $3,877.39 in the contract with Earl Asphalt for the resurfacing and drainage improvements to North Lake Shore Drive, Nassau Street, and Duquesne Boulevard project. Earl Asphalt has completed the paving of North Lake Shore Drive, Nassau Street, and Duquesne Boulevard intersections just above the original contract value.
Resolution 410.
Authorize award of contract Cobra OCA.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes an award of contract to OCA to provide COBRA coverage to the township employees and retirees at a rate of 60 cents per participant per month. Fairview Insurance Agency, the broker of record for the Township of Brick, has solicited proposals and recommends awards to OCA. The township is currently under contract with OCA for COBRA and retiree billing. They offer a full-scale, secure, web-based platform. OCA also delivers 24/7 access to our employee notices and reports. There will be no change to the rates.
Thank you. Resolution 411, please.
Authorize award of contract temporary disability coverage to Guardian Life Insurance Company of America.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
This resolution authorizes an award of contract to Guardian Life Insurance to provide temporary disability coverage for the township. The term of this contract is 1 year. IMAC Insurance Agency, the broker of record for the Township of Brick, has solicited proposals and recommends the award to Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Guardian currently provides temporary disability coverage. In this renewal, we will be experiencing a decrease in the total rate from 0.96% to 0.82%, with a decrease in the employee rate of 0.14%.
Thank you. Resolution 412.
Authorize execution of agreement with Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund.
This resolution authorizes execution of an agreement with the Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund to provide prescription coverage for the township employees and retirees. The agreement renews Brick Township's indemnity and trust agreement, as well as adopts and approves the fund's bylaws. The term of the agreement ends December 31st, 2024. Resolution 413.
Authorize person-to-person transfer of plenary retail consumption liquor license to Dad's Bar Corp., trading as Arrowhead Inn.
Councilman Albanese.
This resolution authorizes the person-to-person transfer of plenary retail consumption liquor license to Dad's Bar Corp., trading as Arrowhead Inn on Route 88.
Resolution 414.
414A is an inspection fund release for K&S Wall Properties on Route 88 in the amount of $28.31.
Resolution 415.
415? It's the microphone, not me.
That's okay.
Thank you. 15A, tax overpayments for 2022. There is one, Block 378.17, Lot 6, in the amount of $1,237.59.
Thank you. That ends the consent agenda. Can I get a motion for the end of the consent agenda, please? And a second.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council. Open to public for questions on the resolutions only. Yes, sir.
take my mask off, right?
Sure.
Everybody's clean now. No, look at the face. Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. Quick question on Resolution 44. I used to work in construction, and I know we had, this is the Superfund site there that's the maintenance, correct? That where the solar field is, that was built on top of the landfill? And I know that was a Superfund site years ago. My question is, when I worked in construction, we had areas where we had asbestos when we had to remove. We had to wear certain respirators, equipment, protective equipment. Has the township ensured that whoever's going to be getting this contract has their employees wearing the proper equipment, or is the fact that the solar panels are built over the landfill? I remember it was capped or something years ago. I don't remember the exact details, but is there any danger from anybody? I'm just worried about the township getting a lawsuit later on, because I work in construction. I know that there were companies that were sued when there was not proper equipment. It was not sealed off, dealing with asbestos. That's the only concern I have, is possible litigation. I know, like I said, it's been a long time, but I think we ended up capping it and then built the solar panels on top of it. So I just wanted to know about the situation. Is there any health hazard from these the employees doing the work there that would require special equipment or anything like that, or
Okay.
protective equipment?
Mrs. Bergen?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Mr. Foster, thank you so much for your concern for the folks that are taking care of the landfill. It's a great point. The EPA is still doing oversight of that landfill, so everything we're doing there is in full compliance with what the EPA has requested us to do. It is capped, you're correct, and the solar panels put on top after the capping, so it's fully capped and they're safe to be doing the maintenance at the landfill.
Is that area, is that still closed off to the public?
It is.
Okay, yeah, because I'm a bird watcher and I like to go in different wooded areas. That's why I always ask before I go to some area. All right, thank you very much for your help. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Hearing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero. Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to our computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $22,219,102.75.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public on the computer bill resolutions only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to the manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,747,793.26.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to a first reading of an ordinance 5-1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 145-6 of the Township Code to extend the time for the waiver of fees for construction to promote the renovation of existing vacant commercial structures.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So this ordinance would extend our program. If everybody remembers, we have a vacant storefront program in town. Well, we started that in 2015. We were actually the first in New Jersey to have such a thing. And back in 2015, if we all remember, there was vacant storefronts all over the town. So we thought this would incentivize businesses to move here, because what we did is we waived the fee for any business that's under 5,000 square feet that was vacant for at least 1 year. those are the type of storefronts that we have around town, because the planners in years past decided to have strip malls all over town. So we have these smaller type of storefronts. And it was something I learned about through the National Conference of Mayors, because there was a town, I think it was in Illinois, that was doing it. So we stole their idea, and it's awesome. We were the first one in New Jersey. So many towns have, they took our ordinance from here, and they copied it and just changed the word brick to whatever town they live in, so that they can have the same benefits that we've had here with filling over, most of our storefronts, empty ones. And now we have, we still have some, but we have no reason, because now for startup businesses, with everything that, all the costs that happen, everything's expensive. Shelving's expensive, and just stocking your store or whatever type of business you have. So this is going to incentivize, again, for small businesses to come here to Brick, and that's what, be business friendly. And this would extend that ordinance for another 2 years. It would extend it through December 31st of 2022. So we've had all types of businesses take advantage of this: yoga studios, florists, bakeries. So all these different smaller businesses you see around town have taken advantage of it, and hopefully the council will pass it for another 2 years so we can keep up this incentive for the small businesses to open up here in Brick Township. Small businesses are backbone of any community. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And a motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is a, sorry, lost my place. Ordinance on a first reading, 5-2.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Township Code, Chapter 396, entitled Stormwater Management.
Thank you. The NJDEP stormwater rules have been modified. All municipalities are required to amend the Township Stormwater Management Ordinance to comply with the model ordinance as provided by the state. The ordinance includes a number of requirements that are designated to improve the quality of stormwater runoff. In February of 2021, the council updated the stormwater ordinance and is now incorporating 4 new sections as required. Those sections address illicit connections, private storm drain retrofitting, refuse containers, dumpsters, and the improper disposal of waste. Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Open to public. Mr. Sluka.
Good evening. I'm going to read my letter dated John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Now I'll read my letter. February 3rd, Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Vincent Menachino, and all Brick councilmen and councilwomen. The council members, mayor, Board of Education, superintendent of schools, and all teachers must stand up for our children, seniors, and all our citizens who are impacted by the toxins flowing off the Garden State Parkway. Act now and save the future for our children and the lives of our seniors. Life, maybe, is now getting back to normal. And even this governor understands that what we were doing to our citizens was non-productive and dangerous. I will once again stand before you expressing the need for increased brush and a large, long wall in any area that was exposed to toxins that are flowing off the Garden State Parkway. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners have harmed our health for many years. The toxins, the noise, and other airborne debris has been coming off the Garden State Parkway and forced into our lungs, and forced into the lungs of seniors, our children, our mothers-to-be, and every one of us, workers and residents alike. The area surrounding Evergreen Woods condos, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Brick High School, Lanes Mill School, Birchwood, and other areas of Brick Township have been besieged by the poisons forced upon us by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners. I really don't have to say much more, except that help by our leaders is needed in order to stop the abuse of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners. Thanks for your time. I yield back 3 minutes.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Mr. Foster.
Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. 3 quick points. First, I want to compliment the Public Works Department for the snow removal, the last storm. I don't know what it is with my house, but lately, last few storms, the wind blows and I have like a drift on my front door. I can't even open up my front door. My neighbors had to rescue me. It's kind of funny. One of my neighbors once had to climb out their window, bend the window to get out. But the snow removal was great. They did a great job just plowing and laying down salt, de-ice and everything. I do have a question. It's kind of a, not really for a big deal, but has there been a change in the type of de-icer put down by the township? Because I noticed it's like a bluish tint to it. Do you know if there's been a change in, or is that just, I don't know, but I just noticed that on the roads. It's no big deal because the roads are very well plowed, and once I was able to get out, I was able to go back to work, do door dashing. So the main roads are very good. But is there any bit, it's like I said, it's not a big deal question-wise, but do you know if they've changed anything, different type of de-icer?
Mrs. Bergen.
The blue that you're seeing, Mr. Foster, is what the county uses.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I noticed that it changed Virgin Route 70.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
But, yeah, like I said, they did a great job, but Public Works always does my neighborhood well, I know. Years ago, I found out it's because they pre-positioned the snow removal equipment there near me, so I feel kind of bad for the rest of the town. But one thing, I also have one other question. This is a question, I was listening to the radio, and they mentioned something about the Build Back Better federal program. And I heard on the radio, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was wondering if anybody here could confirm this or deny it. Allegedly, there's a provision in there to bring back red light cameras. And I was wondering if you could confirm or deny that. No, Mayor Ducey did a great job with removing the red light cameras years ago. Since this is a federal program, then that would be imposed upon us, and there isn't really too much we could do at the local level. But can you confirm or deny this? Has anybody heard anything about that? About red light cameras being brought back through that Build Back Better program?
I'm part of a group that would be on top of that and would notify everybody, and they haven't, there's no indication that that's part of that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I was listening to the radio, I was channel flipping, so maybe I didn't get the whole story of it. It might have just been a rumor or their interpretation of it. I don't want to go to since you people are on top of that. And does anybody know how much money we're going to be getting? Is there any real, does the Build Back Better program deal with only state and federal, or is there anything here that the local government would get to for like road improvement? And well, the bridge on Route 70, that would be county, so that wouldn't be us anyway. I don't think we have any real bridges that would deal with, that's pretty much state and county. So there's not.
So the infrastructure bill
Yeah.
is going to the state for sure.
Okay.
But they have not, I've been on two Zooms, not conference calls anymore, Zooms, where you just listen, they don't see you. But they haven't said anything. So the first, if you remember, like the aid package that came down,
Yeah.
towns such as ours that are eligible for federal funds, we got funds directly for that. So the hope is from the National Conference of Mayors is that the same thing is going to happen with this infrastructure money. So all they did is they're allocating the full amount, but they haven't said they're going to split it up. But the assumption is, but the mayors have to keep fighting for this, is that the money comes directly to the entitled towns, is what they're entitled cities or towns,
Do you
of
have
which we're one.
Yeah, do you have any number as far as dollar amounts go about how much we have gotten so far and how much we are projected to get, or do you have that information?
We haven't gotten anything. Nobody's gotten anything yet. They haven't. They're authorized the funding, but they have not released any.
Do you know how much we're going to
Dollars.
get, or?
We don't know if we're getting anything. Right now, as it stands, they haven't announced it. It's coming to New Jersey,
Yeah,
but they haven't said whether or not the entitlement towns, such as ours, are getting it like we did with the COVID relief
Gotcha.
act. not
Okay,
money, the
yeah, just want to say,
recovery money.
you did a great job, Mayor Ducey did a great job getting rid of those red light cameras years ago, and be ashamed if the feds come in and have to mandate to us, but thank you for clarifying that for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Cole?
Man Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. I think Sam just encouraged me to do what a deacon in my church used to do on Sunday and tell me when I go to the brick council meetings, give them heaven. And he didn't quite mean heaven, I think, but he was wonderful and unfortunately has passed away. I number one, applaud Mr. Sluker, and please don't stop because the township wouldn't hear half of what they need to if you fail to attend a meeting and fail to read what you had posted to the town. Unfortunately, I am in complete disagreement with Mr. Foster. The red light cameras should have been kept, not for the purposes of ticketing, which was the original intent to make money for the town, but I never applauded Mayor Ducey for that, and I really objected seeing it in his campaign. I believe that there was a shooting or something at Brick Boulevard and Chambers Bridge not too long ago. The red light camera would have provided great evidence of what exactly transpired. It's needed. We have more crashes going on. We have pedestrian-involved crashes, which is the proper title now. But I'm going to read something that actually is already outdated. It was posted by State Senator Loretta Weinberg, not only outdated because she's no longer in that seat, but because there has been an amendment to the statute she talks about. In New Jersey, we're fortunate to have two fantastic tools to help maintain open government at all levels. The Open Public Records Act and the Byron M. Baer Open Public Meetings Act. When enacted, these two laws were revolutionary concepts that redefined elected officials' relationship to the people who elected them to office in the first place. However, these laws enacted almost 4 decades ago, in the case of the Open Public Meetings Act, and a little more than a decade ago, in the case of the Open Public Records Act, need to be updated. If we are going to continue to be responsive to the needs and demands of an increasingly technological proficient citizenry, increased reliance on ever-developing technologies such as the internet, email, texting, cell phones, and smartphones present new opportunities and potential pitfalls in how government includes the people it is intended to represent. Over the last 4 years, I have developed legislation that proposes changes to our government transparency laws to account for new technologies while reducing opportunities for violations of the public trust. These changes take advantage of the internet while also preserving open access for those who are less technologically inclined. They also clarify instances of law that New Jersey courts have upheld. The changes have not come to me in a vacuum. I am fortunate to have met with elected officials and their clerks from across the state. Their recommendations to reduce abuse associated with the Open Public Records Act have been incorporated. These changes make it easier for municipalities to recover costs associated with large volume commercial requests. The changes also help save money by providing legal remedies to public bodies that protect them against abusive requests and frivolous lawsuits. What about us? While the majority of municipalities operate in a very transparent manner, not here, The changes to the Open Public Meetings Act target the bad behavior of the few. It is not enough for certain elected officials to point to their compliance while not demanding the same from their peers. The requirements in this bill codify the best practices of the majority. The language was designed to improve transparency of public meetings while giving public bodies new tools to conduct efficient meetings. Some have criticized these bills. Some say that open government will cost too much. We already have a greater responsibility to safeguard the privacy of others. Or open government simply is not as important as other policy initiatives. That is just not true. The baseline of any government in a democracy has to be open government. I believe the open government is essential for good government. The residents of New Jersey deserve to know how their money is being spent and with whom their elected officials meet in order to make the best decisions possible for the future of their democracy. Additionally, governing bodies should not be prevented from doing their work because of the actions of a few. These bills carefully reflect both principles and deserve bipartisan support.
Ms. Cole, could you please wrap it up? Thank you.
Yes, I'll wrap it up when Loretta wrapped it up.
No, listen, excuse me.
Senator-
There's other people that want to speak. Everybody gets their 5
And
minutes.
that's my fault?
And no,
I
didn't
have
say-
been against you putting the
Listen,
5 minutes,
we-
well,
we-
actually, it's
It's
the
nobody,
other
that,
party that put it in. This is not
so I'm not going to argue with you.
adhering
I'm
to
not
the
going to argue
spirit
with
of
you.
the Open
Listen, I'm not going to
Meetings
argue with
Act.
you.
Well,
You
then
can come-
don't.
You can come to the next meeting and read the other page.
Oh,
But
isn't
yeah.
that transparent
Well,
government?
listen, thank you for your
Isn't
time.
that following the spirit of the Open Meetings Act? Don't let the truth come out.
Thank
So
you.
yes, I'll come again
you.
and again and again. But right now, I have an issue in the hands of the governor's office that has to do with not having information available to us that we should.
Thank you. Yes, sir, in the 4th row.
Stephen Brill, Evergreen Woods. The following are the agencies that were contacted regarding whether the air quality was monitored as a result of the Garden State Parkway Exit 91 fire. Ocean County Fire Marshal replied to my email, Julian Elba, suggested contacting New Jersey Division of Fire Safety. I then contacted New Jersey Department of State regarding my OPA request. There were no government records responsive to my request. Corey Walkenberg, OPRA Coordinator. New Jersey Office of the Attorney General. No reply has been received. New Jersey State Police Hazardous Materials Response Unit. This unit is trained in air quality monitoring. Did Hazmat not respond? Was no report generated? The homeowners of Evergreen Woods Condominium Complex should have access to any air monitoring results. Where is that report? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. As you know, I was here last week. I had spoken about, Louis Cicelli, 106 D Street, brick. Sorry about that. You know, last week I was here, I had spoken about a flag issue I'm having. And again, I know there's no ordinance, but I don't know, I believe in my heart we should really have to pass an ordinance after this. I don't know where I stand with this. I don't know if you guys did any research or where we're going to go with this for help. I think the land, last time we spoke, we said the land committee or something was going to,
Land use is going to
Land
meet,
use.
they're going to meet in the end of March, and they'll have results for you after that. But did you reach out to who you were supposed to reach out to after the last meeting?
we had sent, yeah, Joanna, we were supposed to send an email to her, but she didn't get it, and I sent it to her tonight.
Okay.
When I was out in the hallway. She didn't receive it. I had told my wife, make sure she gets it, but she says you don't do stuff like
Blame it
that.
on your wife. Very nice.
Yeah, blame it on her.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, that's on public record.
Yeah.
You know, I said to her, make sure she gets it. Oh, no, you don't do stuff like that. She got it.
Yeah.
Okay, she didn't get it.
So on March 22nd, I believe, is the land use meeting.
March
And then, yeah,
22nd?
After that, you can get a request of what happened at that meeting. You can look at the minutes for that.
Okay, March 22nd, so I should come back March 22nd meeting?
No, that's land use. That's not to the public, but after March 22nd, you can come to a meeting and we can probably have results.
Have an
for you.
answer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that'd be
After
good.
that, after March 22nd, maybe you can reach out to Mrs. Berg and she'll have an answer for you.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great, yeah. I really appreciate your help on this, and, you know.
We
see
have a
where
meeting
go
that
from-
night. No, we don't have a meeting that night. No, that's true, I'm sorry.
No.
My bad, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ooh, trying to be helpful.
So if you, after that, reach out to Mrs. Berg and she'll be more than happy to address
Okay,
you.
now that we have her,
Yeah.
now we have connection, we'll do that, yeah. That'd be great help.
Thank you.
And I appreciate everything you're trying to do for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from Pug? Yes, Mr. Finelli.
Rick Finelli, ditto on the comments about the snow removal and the de-icing. We got some snow last time, but I live way out by the water, and they were good, so thank you for that. Just a quick question on, can we make comments about the first readings? The mayor said you were extending that for 2 years, but this only says December 2022. Was it 2 years, or?
So it's expired December 30th of 2020. 2020. Now it'll be till 2022.
So what did we do for last year? What did we do for last year?
We didn't offer it. It didn't come up. People didn't ask about it. So we're
Oh.
like, let's start it up again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you're going to extend it for 2 years, so that would be 2023, wouldn't it?
Well, you can only extend it from when it expired, which was December
Oh,
31st
okay.
of 2020. Yeah.
The other one, just reading that whole, the other first reading ordinance about all of the dumpsters and everything else, if I'm not mistaken, big dumpsters have drainage holes in the bottom, don't they?
I've never been in one.
You haven't been in one? Oh, you haven't lived until you've been dumpster diving, come on.
There'd be all sorts of garbage juice dripping out the bottom then, right? Wouldn't that contaminate things?
I'm pretty sure, but I've checked. But I think there's a drainage hole on each corner of that, so the rainwater and everything drains out because those plastic lids aren't waterproof. The old metal ones were, but the plastic ones aren't. You know, they don't seam up right and everything else. Plus the fact is, when it's stormy, the wind will blow them right open. I mean, just the bright open, they fill with rain, so they don't want them to fill with water and rust from the inside, so they have drain holes in it. You might want to check into that.
That's a big stormwater issue, like the mayor was saying, because that water is then unregulated and going into the ground.
Whatever in the garbage thing is going to run out, which it does now. I mean, I appreciate you trying to keep the water clean. I live on the water, but you might want to check into dumpsters and see if they have drainage holes in them, which is going to, I will tomorrow when I go to my friend's house. He has one. Yeah. Okay. And just one other thing I wanted to share with you. If you remember last year, I gave you some numbers about the people moving out of New Jersey versus the people moving in, and it was like 66% out and 33% in. Well, this year they put together their numbers really early. I mean, they have right up until December of last year. It's from the moving company. Unfortunately, the numbers got worse, right? Now, 70% of the moves are out of New Jersey, 30% are in. But worse than that, 2/3 of the moves out with people over 55, and half those people over 55 had a reported income of over $150,000. So the people that require the less service, like old people like me, we don't need schools and whatnot, we're usually not holding up stores or doing high crime things, they're leaving the state and taking their money with them. Not good. When you're thinking about all your big plans, think about that. And last but not least, just for everybody else to know, because this bothers me, our governor has started up 2 more dark money groups. If you remember the last time I talked about this, New Directions, where the NJEA contributes $6 million to the governor's dark fund, he has 2 new dark funds now. They both have the same name, Stronger, Fairer, and Forward. And on both of these funds, his wife is the board chairman. Only in New Jersey can this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public? Closed public, council comments. Mrs. Bergen,
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you. We have some events that are coming up. First, this Friday, February 11th, we're going to be swearing in 5 new special police officers in the afternoon. So congratulations to them. Then on Saturday, February 12th at 3 o'clock, we have Brick's birthday party taking place at Civic Plaza. You do need to register online so that we have enough activities for all the kids. It's focused for kids, but all ages can go. It's open. It's obviously open to everybody. There's all sorts of things going on, balloon animals, there's going to be hand painting, there's going to be pin brick on the state of New Jersey, there's going to be cake, there's going to be tabletop cornhole. Our police department will be there with some giveaways. Our fire department will be there with the fire mascot and some hats for the kids and things like that. There's also going to be, this is really cool, this is why you need to register, some type of ice cream that you make yourself in a bag that's not frozen. So I don't know any more than that, but that's going to be there as well. So please come out. It's 3 o'clock on Saturday at the Civic Plaza, but you do register online under our Brick Township website, under Recreation, in a community pass that you would register for any recreation program. I want to thank the DPW, our Parks Department, our monitors, our police, our EMT, and our IT department for all the hard work that they did on the snowstorm. We had a little bit, around 18 inches of snow here in Brick, so it was a lot of snow to move, and they all did an excellent job. The call center as well, and everybody who worked at the call center. So thank you for getting us through that storm. And then also, over the since the last council meeting, we welcomed 3 new businesses. Fringe Benefits, which is a hair salon on Route 88. Also Buff City Soap, which is a soap store in the Brick Plaza between Burlington and Applebee's. They have all sorts of beard soap and bath bombs and laundry detergent that only has 2 ingredients, which is important to anybody who has allergies and things like that. And then also Sephora opened, which is a makeup and hair product store over by Old Navy. So welcome to town, and hopefully everybody does well, and look forward to new businesses opening besides that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keneally.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary.
Nothing.
Thank you. Councilman Albanese.
Nothing, thank you.
Sorry, Councilman Albanese. Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes, just a couple quick things for our seniors. On this Friday, the 11th, the Senior Services is hosting their Valentine's Day lunch and bingo. Again, you have to register. Please call Senior Services at 732-920-8686. And then on February 18th, is the Price is Right Valentine's Day edition. Test your pricing skills on a variety of products, and they will have hot chocolate and snacks. And that is February 18th at 11 o'clock. And again, you must call to register, 732-920-8686. And with that, I have nothing this evening except everybody have a lovely Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pontarera.
Yes. First, I wanted to apologize for being late. Unfortunately, in my effort to get a last-minute drink on the way, I took a tumble in the parking lot. Unfortunately, since they've removed my fibula to make my new jawbone, I have balance issues and I was going too fast, but I'm fine. two issues I really wanted to talk about. Many of you know I recently contracted, along with most of my family, COVID. Thankfully, I recovered, but I want to pass on information that may help those that are considered to be high risk, such as myself. And high risk has been defined as any condition or set of conditions which may make you more likely to become seriously ill or be hospitalized if you do in fact contract COVID. Some of those conditions are a compromised immune system, people who have rheumatoid arthritis, who have a history of heart disease, who have a history of asthma. There are a myriad of conditions which may make you high risk. So why is that important to know? This December, the FDA allowed Plasivix, a medication. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending that you take this medicine, but I want you, if you are high risk, first of all, if you don't know if you're high risk, that's the first thing, that you should have a discussion with your primary physician about before, God forbid, you contract COVID. So you should know whether or not you are high risk. If you have a specialist who maybe deals with your issue that's not connected to your primary care physician, you have to make sure that the specialist notifies your primary physician of your high-risk status. Now, the reason I'm passing on this information is that with a history of cancer, I'm high risk, and I knew the medication had come out, Plasivix, and I knew that that was something that I would potentially benefit from. The hurdles that I had to jump to get that medication were astronomical, and I want to help avoid that for other people. There was also a recent article in the New York Post, I believe it was the New York Post, it may have been Washington Post, about the great pains that this gentleman had trying to get his 83-year-old mother Plasivix. So once you've established if you're high risk, you only have 3 days from the onset of symptoms to be prescribed Plasivix. It stops the reproduction of the virus cells in your lungs, preventing pneumonia. I can tell you, I had to call, when I called my physician's office, they told me they didn't know who had Plasivix or where I could get it, so I proceeded. At the same time I was ill, my mother was ill as well, who's also high risk, so I had a double incentive. I called 42 pharmacies throughout our state and finally found one that had it. So what I'm recommending is, 1, determine if you're high risk. 2, let your physician's office know that, look, God forbid I get this COVID, I'm going to be looking for this medication. Do you know where I can obtain it? They may tell you you have to find it out yourself. And it does fluctuate. There were approximately 8,000 doses of the Plasivix sent to New Jersey. We are one of only, I believe it's 30 states that were sent those doses. Now, it's going to get, quote, better. We'll have more doses available with time. But for those of us that are high risk, I think it's important for us to make those initial calls before you're in the throes of COVID. It was no fun calling all those places when I could barely breathe. So Again, if you or your family member high risk, call the PCP. Make sure the PCP knows that you are considered high risk. If it involves a specialist, make sure they tell your PCP, and make sure your PCP knows that in the event you are stricken with COVID, you're going to be looking for this medication. That may help you avoid the problems that I had. And I will tell you, I was heavily congested when I started taking it, and my oxygen went to 92. But with the Plasovix that same day, by the next morning, my oxygen was at 95 or 96. So, again, not a doctor, not saying what may work for you, but I'm telling you what worked for me. And it's important, since we have such a high population of seniors who may be high risk. The second thing is there is a infusion that is already paid for by the government. They don't charge you to receive it if you are sick with COVID. You may remember a former president was given what the brand name was Regeneron. That infusion is available at most walk-in clinics, I've now learned, and also at our local hospital in Breck. So it has to be administered by a nurse or a doctor, and there are services that will send a nurse out to your home. Call, if you're on Medicare, call Medicare. If you're on regular Blue Cross Blue Shield, make sure you call ahead of time to find out where you could obtain an infusion, or if it's for your mom or dad, how they can get that infusion done at home. That's the biggest piece of information. The second thing, and again, we're talking about, this was COVID. Eventually they figured out that I had original COVID as opposed to Omicron. So I think everyone thinks now that it's only Omicron, but I'm here to tell you, COVID is still there. And that was despite every effort I could have to try to keep myself and my children protected. So call ahead of time. Those are 2 medications. And our local hospital right in Breck, the Hackensack Meridian Hospital, is, I believe, and don't quote me back there, Dan, unless you fact check it, but I believe that we are the only town that has a COVID recovery center right at the Breck Hospital. So these are things that, I learned the hard way, so I want you to know ahead of time the easy way. Easier, I should say. Okay. So that's that issue. And then the second thing that I wanted to relate to you guys tonight is my 5-year anniversary of my original cancer diagnosis. More importantly, it is the 1-year anniversary of the day I discovered the recurrence of my cancer. Everyone should be screened for head and neck cancer. The biggest population being hit right now is people in their 40s and 50s. That screening can take place at any dental office. All I had was a little sore on my tongue. Didn't think anything about it. So if you have a sore that won't go away, please get screened. It's simple enough to do, and it's important. It's very important, because most people don't live 5 years who have stage 4 head and neck cancer. God has answered my prayers, and I right now am cancer-free. So I want to relate to you that I appreciate everyone's prayers, well wishes, and thoughts, and I absolutely believe that it all helped to bring me to where I am today. So thank you all, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Vice President Creighton.
I don't have anything this evening.
Thank you. We're all happy you're on your upswing. Thank you. Yeah. So all I have is the next scheduled council meeting is February 22nd, 2022, at 7 PM here. Can I get a motion and a second to adjourn? All in favor?